Hey gang, Anne-Marie here. Welcome back to the Sandwich Generation. I'm a certified senior advisor. I'm here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, and I'm here to help you guys figure out what to do. And today I want to talk about how in the world are we going to pay for expensive senior living, because it is expensive, no joke. There are lots of ways to pay for senior living, and we want to make sure that you get all the benefit that you possibly can from every source and stack them together to make this an affordable situation from you. Because let's face it, if someone needs care, they need care. You know, we're not talking about someone who's just thinking about moving to a senior apartment. We're talking about your loved one is sick and needs actual care. Let's say that your loved one needs care and you haven't figured out all the pieces yet. You know, it's okay to use home care in the interim. You know, you're going to have to do something. You're going to have to make sure they have care. That's a good option too. You know, it doesn't have to be forever. Maybe it doesn't have to be 24/7. It just depends on the situation. But the moral of the story is we obviously want to love and care for our seniors. You could even get in trouble if you leave them in the house and APS shows up and says, you know, you're not taking care of them. Now it's neglect. You're not meaning to neglect them. I know you're not. You know, and we often think, well, you know, I go over in the morning, I get mama up, I clean her up from the night before, I sit her in a chair, I put food next to her, and so she's okay in front of the TV until I get home from work at night. And then we do the whole process in reverse. You know, I feed her dinner and then I get her cleaned up again and put her to bed, and so everything's fine. If you're in one of those scenarios, everything is not fine. If you have a loved one that is sitting in a recliner all day long while you're gone, there are endless things that could happen there that would be drastic and life-changing. And there are also things like, if they're sitting in a chair all day long, how are they going to the bathroom? You know, you think, oh, I'm leaving them in a Depends. They can just pee in it. It'll be fine, whatever. You're opening that up to infection. You're opening them up to sores that won't heal. It's just a whole Pandora's box of things. And I know that you're doing your best. So let me help you. Let me give you those resources. It's free. There is no harm in talking to me. You do have those families occasionally that they have more money than God, or they have saved up a ton of money over their lifetime, and so senior living is not a big deal for them. But for most people, it is really expensive, and you start out wondering, how on earth are we going to pay for this? So let's dig into that. The first thing I want to talk about that's an interesting one is a life settlement. Let's say your loved one has a life insurance policy. It usually has to be a payout of $100,000, $200,000 or more to be able to qualify for this. But if your loved one is in a place where they need senior living, and you know, the older they are, the less likely they are to have their policy continue, and it can also diminish in how much it pays out. These people, what they do is they buy the life insurance from you. You get the big fat check right off the bat, just like as if the person had passed away, except they're still alive. And so of course there's all kind of rules to that and whatever, but it's a really impressive way to get a chunk of money that can pay for senior living. It can pay for anything. You're just going to get a check, but in this case we're talking about senior living. There's also the VA. The VA is a pain to deal with. Don't think it's not. And there are people out there who say, oh, you can do this by yourself. And, oh, you know, there's this place that's going to do it for free. That is inaccurate information. While you can do it for yourself, you shouldn't, because it will take forever. And they will try everything in the world to kick it out and say, no, you can't have it. But aid and attendance is a wonderful benefit to our veterans. And there are obviously qualifying things, which is another reason why you need to talk to a VA specialist or an elder law attorney, because they can help you through that. But it just gives you a check every month. And, you know, even a surviving spouse, I think they're getting like $1,200-$1,400 a month right now. And the veteran themselves usually gets about $2,400-ish a month right now. And that money is just a check that you have to spend it on their senior care somehow, but it's not tied to, You don't have to go to a VA contracted place. That's a whole other story. This is money that is just free money for you that you can pay for assisted living with it, and it is a great resource. Obviously, you can also sell the house. If you have someone who has a house, and especially if it's paid for, but even if it's not, you can sell the house. Now you have a pot full of money that you can go and pay for senior living. When we talk about these things, we're talking about stacking together multiple ways to gather money to pay for senior living. And in this case, if you're going to sell the house and wind up with this big pot full of money, or really any pot full of money, you're going to need to make sure that you do it in a certain order so that you can still get things like VA aid and attendance. You may have to take some of that money and put it into a trust, which doesn't mean you can't use it. It's just a way to put it in a way that the VA will accept so that you can still get aid and attendance. So there is an order to these things, which is why it's important to talk to a professional before you just go out willy-nilly and doing these things. There's also a reverse mortgage. I know that has gotten a bad rap in the past, and I'm sure that in certain scenarios it's messy. But if you're talking about a loved one in senior living, a reversed mortgage just means that you're going to stop paying for the house, and then they're going to pay you monthly from the mortgage. And so when you get that monthly from the mortgage, what it's doing is it's deducting out of the actual mortgage. And so it used to be that, people thought that if you have a reverse mortgage, let's say you only take out $20,000 you get, and then the house is worth $400,000, and oh my gosh, when the people die, now you have to give the house and you lose all the money. That's not how it works, especially in a senior living scenario. And so there's lots of different options to figure that out, to make sure that you're doing the exact right thing. And if you're a person who thinks, well, I want to buy mama's house when she dies, well, I bought my parents' house and they bought it from her parents, and so that does happen. But you can still do that out of a reverse mortgage. You can pay off the reverse mortgage and just be done at the end if you want, and keep the house. There's lots of options out there, and so I don't want you to think that somebody told you something at some point that messed up for them and it's not going to work for you, because you don't know until you look into it. I'm happy to help you in any way I can, but let's stack those options up and get you the care that you need for your loved one when they need it. I'm so glad we got to talk today. I hope that you'll share these videos on your social media so that other people that may be sitting there and you don't even know, but they're right next to you at the office, or they're sitting next to you at church, and their loved one is suffering, and they're suffering because they feel alone and they don't know what to do. So I hope you do that. Like the videos. Obviously, subscribing to the channel really helps us get the word out. I really appreciate all of that. But let's talk soon. Until then, let me know what you need. I'm here.